No organizations today can say that they're 100% secure. Cloud is amazing. Okay, it's an amazing platform now, because when you talk about cloud, right, there are a lot of benefits that you have. It could be in terms of scalability, flexibility, cost efficiency. There are a lot of benefits that the user or the organization would get from a cloud platform. So if you talk about AI, see, AI is just, we know AI is a very powerful tool. Totally agreed on that part, but it is not a complete replacement to human.
Yes,
Because we
agree.
have heard people saying AI will replace human. I don't agree with that point.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to CyberTalks. I'm your host, Shabri. Today, we're joined by a cybersecurity professional whose career journey spans technical operations, team leadership, and cybersecurity education. With expertise across security operations, incident response, digital forensics, cloud security, ethical hacking, and security awareness, he has spent years helping organizations strengthen their security posture while navigating an increasingly complex threat landscape. Currently serving as Assistant Manager, Cybersecurity Training, LMS, and Sales Operations at CyberSapiens, he is actively involved in developing industry ready talent, conducting training programs, and bridging the gap between academic learning and real world cybersecurity requirements. Today, we'll be discussing the evolving cybersecurity landscape, the growing importance of proactive cybersecurity measures, cloud security, compliance, AI driven threats, and what organizations can do to stay ahead of emerging risks. So, if you're looking for a unique perspective on both the technical and business side of cybersecurity, you're in the right place. So, please join me in welcoming Chirag Suvarna. Hi, Chirag.
Hello, Shabri.
Hi. So let's begin with talking about VAPT. So one of the main things about VAPT so far is that a lot of organizations do that. They have been doing that simply to just satisfy the audit requirements or compliance requirements or something. They're not doing it as a mandatory thing. So right now things are getting a lot more stricter in terms of compliance, right? So do you think like VAPT is like the non-negotiable at the moment?
Yes, see, in terms of VAPT, it's no longer considered as a compliance requirement because there are multiple reasons to it. So the first reason is, if you notice now, cybersecurity has become a global concern.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just an IT requirement. So most of the organizations today are relying on digital systems. You have cloud platforms in place, and then you have these online servers which they utilize in order to run their day-to-day business operations. So ultimately, they are vulnerable to different sort of cyber threat, because no organizations today can say that they're 100% secure. That is not the case. Yeah. So when they are exposed to these type of cyber threats, imagine a situation where you have a vulnerability that exists. It could be in a network, it could be in a server. So if there is a particular vulnerability that exists, so it can cause a huge level of destruction depending upon the type of, it could be a malware, the program malware. So depending upon how it has been programmed, according to that, the impact would be there. It could be related to financial loss or maybe a ransomware attack, etc. Today, if you observe the cybersecurity domain, you see cybersecurity has become a global concern. It is not just an IT issue, right? So nowadays, organizations are fully relying on digital systems, or it could be cloud platforms and even some online services in order to run their day-to-day business operations as well. So which ultimately leads them to different sort of cyber threats. Okay, so there is a saying that there is nothing called as 100% security. Nobody can say that we are 100% secure. So that is where these vulnerabilities exist. So vulnerabilities, in the sense, I can give you one example. So imagine a situation where there is a vulnerability that could be present in a network, or it could be in a server, which is left unaddressed. So when you have this kind of vulnerabilities, so it will have a huge impact to a particular organization. Okay, so since it's been neglected, depending upon what type of, for example, a malware. Now, depending upon what type of malware it is, it's a program malware. According to that, it will cause the impact to an organization, which could be financial loss, data theft, or even ransomware attack, and so on. So that is where I say that VAPT should be considered much more than a checkbox activity for audits. Okay, So if you talk about a VAPT process, it is not just a smaller process. When you talk about VAPT, it starts from planning and scoping. Then it goes for recon phase, after which comes the vulnerability assessment. Then goes for the penetration testing, in which again you have two, pre-exploitation and post-exploitation, right? So after which you have the reporting part, then you have the re-audit. So it's a huge process and very detailed process as well. So when organization go for a VAPT process, right? So they, you know, they need get understanding about their entire infrastructure, what their infrastructure is all about, with related to vulnerabilities, how to mitigate those vulnerabilities and how to fix those issues. So that's why I say that VAPT should not be just considered as a just a compliance requirement. It is much more than that. Yeah.
That's very insightful. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Yes. So over the past few years, a lot of businesses are moving and a lot of operations are moving their data to cloud. So that will obviously unlock a new set of challenges. So what do you think there are some of the security considerations that need to be done before moving to a whole new cloud environment?
So that's actually a good question, Shabari. So first of all, I would say that cloud is amazing. Okay? It's an amazing platform now, because when you talk about cloud, right, there are a lot of benefits that you have. It could be in terms of scalability, flexibility, cost efficiency. There are a lot of benefits that the user or the organization would get from a cloud platform. But since you mentioned about the security challenges as well, yes, I would agree on that part as well. There are few challenges that you will come across, which the organizations need to address at the very beginning before getting into any of the cloud services. So I would like to highlight few of them. First is your identity and access management, that is IAM service. See, in cloud, IAM is considered to be the command center, in the sense it is one of the main aspect that needs to be focused into, because I'll just tell you in a very simple what IAM is. So in an organization, they need to know which user should have what kind of access. So that should be very clear from the organization standpoint of view. So that is about IAM. Next comes the MFA, multi-factor authentication. So this is like an extra layer of security that needs to be implemented wherever applicable to the cloud platform. After which organization needs to focus on few other factors, like they need to perform regular assessments. They have to monitor their cloud platforms. Then you have few threat detection services, like one example in AWS is your Amazon Guard Duty. Okay, so these type of services need to be enabled at the prior itself. Okay, so these are some areas where they need to have a close focus into. Okay, there is one more important aspect that you need to understand, which is called as the shared responsibility model. So I'll just tell what shared responsibility model is all about. This is applicable to all the cloud platforms. Imagine if you go with a cloud platform, so it is like 50-50 responsibilities, in the sense 50% of the responsibility will be under cloud environment and rest 50% will be under the user, one who takes the service. Okay, so if you take for example AWS, if you opt for AWS services for your organization, whatever the security infrastructure that you have, right, will be responsible of your AWS provider. But at the same time, whatever the applications that you run within that particular infrastructure, right, that will be sole your responsibility. So any damage happens, any cyber attack happens for your application, the cloud provider will not be taking the responsibility of that. So for your question, my answer is, if you're planning the right cloud security strategy, it should be purely, you have to build it based on the technology, right technology, governance, and also the right visibility on how these particular technologies or the security would take place, okay, according to the business requirement. So that would be my answer for this.
That's a very good response, and that's very, very, very insightful as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, because of the changing cloud environment, a lot of these changes would be need, like, it has to be implemented in a very proactive manner.
Yes, because a cloud environment is something very recently now. Cloud is very booming as well. Everybody are migrating their infrastructure towards cloud, so they need to know these factors before getting into the cloud setup. Otherwise, it would be challenging at a later stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've covered cloud, I think there is a very important thing that we have to discuss. Now that AI is in the picture, so there's a great rise in AI attacks, and that is causing a lot of chaos in the industry. So do you think like all companies should rethink their security strategy now that AI powered attacks are on the go?
Okay, so talking about AI, there are both sides of it. You have positives as well as negatives as well. When you discuss about the positive aspects of AI, if you take about a security analyst, now they rely on AI to, automate their task or to perform threat detection or to analyze a huge set of data and many other activities as well. But on the same hand, if you see in an attacker's perspective, or so attackers misuse these same technology to create, automated phishing emails or to create a new, social engineering techniques, right? So it has both positive and negative as well. So organizations, according to me, they shouldn't be completely relying on just the reactive approach to AI. So reactive approach in the sense, they have to also think about the defensive, approach, like how AI can be used to fix these, how to, in order to defend their particular organization. It could be, how, to perform threat detection, how to perform continuous monitoring on their particular organization's infrastructure. So that is where the organization need to shift their focus as well. So if you talk about AI, see, AI is just, we know AI is a very powerful tool, totally agreed on that part, but it is not a complete replacement to human.
Yes.
Because we have heard, people saying AI will replace human. I don't agree with that point, because see, AI is something which is even built by the human itself. So when you talk about, human interference, that is required. So as an organization, they need skilled cybersecurity professionals. Those who are, even though AI detects something through an automation process, we need skilled security analysts to identify those vulnerabilities. What is it all about? To come up with a new strategy which can fix those vulnerabilities, and that is how, human interferences are also required, not just AI, because all these activities, sole or technology cannot be doing it. So we need human interference as well. So AI as well as human, involvement, both are equally required. So we need skilled professionals for that.
I completely agree with that, and I do believe that AI and humans, they need to walk hand in hand
Yes.
in order to succeed. Even when it comes to marketing or anything, one of the main thing is a lot of people are just saying you can just make AI write this blog, for example, but
Yeah.
it will lack the human aspect to it, and that is super important.
Correct.
So yes, that is the way to the future.
Yes.
I think we believe in that.
Yeah, even I stand with the same point, because just technology, everything is through AI. No.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
just
not
it just can't. Then
yeah.
it'll be a world run by robots.
Exactly.
Yes, and nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So compliance standards are always evolving. It is just changing with every single day. You have new things coming up. Like for example, right now we have ISO 42001, which is the latest AI governance compliance. So with the evolution that is happening, which is very consistent, what do you think? Like the compliance standards, will it be measured by all the requirements going forward? Like will they be practical security measures?
Okay, I'll simplify this for you. First of all, security and compliance, they're not exactly the same. They're close to each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So the standards what you mentioned, it could be ISO, PCI DSS, HIPAA, GDPR. So these standards, so the main purpose of these standards is to manage the security and to minimize the risk. That's the sole agenda. So that is where these compliance audits are being performed. So when you talk about these standards right now, I'll give you one example. So recently in Mangalore, we have attended, I've been a part of these Tycoon events and all.
Yeah.
So I've met many startup organizations where, I've been, I've had a word with them. There's one gap I felt, when I spoke with these organization people. So it is like, and that's a mistake is what I feel, organizations, what they do is that organizations, the first mistake that they make is they take compliance as their end goal, because compliance is something that needs to be considered at the start itself, not as an end goal. Okay.
Yeah.
Because see, depending upon the organization's infrastructure, so what I suggest is organization, before implementing, just for audit purpose you can do the compliance, but it doesn't give, doesn't mean your organization is secure just because you're compliant.
Yeah.
Okay, that needs to be very clear. So what I'm going to say is that, organization, first you should understand your business requirement. You should understand your overlying security infrastructure, how it works, and according to that you implement the, security strategy that is needed. So now when your compliance aligns with the cybersecurity strategy, it adds more value. Now just you're not, satisfying the regulatory requirement, but you are also building trust with your client and your stakeholders as well. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, that's very insightful.
Yeah.
That's really it's much needed for industry leaders and also especially startup owners, because there is a lot of confusion and there's always this sense of there's a sense of relief, or like there's a sense of non-activeness, non-proactiveness, where people are usually just like, we'll do this somewhere along the line. But
Correct.
compliance is a standard that needs to be followed even at the beginning itself.
Yeah, it is needed, but they have to think where it is required.
Yes.
Just for getting compliant, if you do compliance audit, that is of no use. You will get compliant, but you're not secure. That is what I
Exactly. You
can
need
say.
to identify what is exactly needed at
Needed.
the moment.
Yeah.
Right. So, Chirag, I do want to highlight the fact that you've accomplished quite a lot. Because being in a managerial position at a relatively young age, especially in an industry like cybersecurity, which is highly competitive, it's quite the feat. So, what advice do you have for Gen Z who are trying to crack into the cybersecurity industry and would like to excel?
Okay, to Gen Z, I would like to say that first of all, don't be in a hurry to climb the ladder, because patience is the key for everything. If I have to tell about myself, I just started from being an intern, cybersecurity intern, and today I've been in this position of manager. So it's a very long journey where you experience a lot of things as well. So nowadays when you talk about these Gen Z professionals as well, so the main target for them is to get promoted, get
Yeah.
promoted very early, and also that's normal. It is something that you expect when you are working for an organization, that is there. But at the same time, the core aspect, or if you're focusing on a long term success and growth rate, first of all focus on the building your foundation as much strong as you can. Because see, cybersecurity is one such industry where your skills matter a lot compared to your age or the year of experience that you work in the organization. If you're really good at what you're doing, if you're bringing that value to the organization, definitely your growth is fixed in the organization. Nobody can change that. So it all depends upon how you work, how you bring value to the organization as well. Another small advice that I would like to give is always seek advice from those who are experienced in this field. Try to stay around with those people, because those advisors, I have personally done it, because those advisors really impact you. Because if I have to tell about my director, Robin, Claude, and also they have given that advice because they have believed in me, they have given that opportunity, and that is where I've been to this level. Okay, so those type of advice are also needed. It's not just everything I'm the only person, I can do everything. That is not the case. That won't happen also. So you need advice from senior people. Take advice from that. It's okay, even some mistakes they suggest you, it's okay, take it in a positive way. That will help in your growth itself. That is, you're not going to lose anything from that. So for Gen Zs, yeah, that is the advice I would like to give. And rest, you have to build your foundation, build as much as foundation that you can, and that will definitely help you in growth. And one thing finally, in terms of leadership, that I want to mention, people take leadership as it's like they think as if some crown is given to them. It's not like that. It's a simple mindset that you have. You could be in an intern role, or you could be an analyst, you could be in marketing manager, whichever role you are. Leadership is very simple. It's just first of all, learn to take ownership. Whatever the responsibility that you have, take ownership of that. Try to bring more value to what you're doing, help others, guide others. So it's all about teamwork. Even though you are a manager, it doesn't mean that everything manager sits and says and everything happens. No.
Yeah.
It's all about teamwork. Work like a team, support your colleagues to grow, and that is how that is the actual meaning of leadership. So if you're having all these qualities with the good communication skills, then definitely you can be to this level.
That's what they say, teamwork is dream work.
Yeah, it is needed.
So,
no matter what.
Chirag, this has been a really great session talking to you. It's been a privilege to have you on our CyberTalks couch. So, thanks for sharing all of these insights, and we really hope to have this conversation with you again. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
From emerging cyber threats and cloud security to compliance and risk management, this has been an incredibly valuable conversation. And for our listeners, thank you for tuning in to CyberTalks. Stay curious, stay secure, and we'll see you in the next episode.